Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, we have a great show for you today. It was another organizational sweep, the fourth organizational sweep in about the last 2.5 weeks. So how about that? All the way from Los Angeles down to Rancho, every single team won last night. So we have an exciting show today. Packed show, definitely, because everybody was in action. There was a lot of good action to get to. But hey, before we get to all that, hey, just a reminder, if you'd like to help Dodgers Daily by donating, we do now have a GoFundMe account, and the link is in the description. Just click that. It'll take you right where you need to go to help Dodgers Daily by donating. Also, if you like this video and if you like this kind of content, go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment, tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily, and become a subscriber. And after you subscribe, go ahead and click that notification bell and turn on your notifications. That way, every time Dodgers Daily releases a new video, you'll be notified and you won't miss a thing. And Dodgers Daily can keep growing, and we can keep providing you content like this in the future. Okay, like I said, it was an organizational sweep, and it started right off the bat with a home run for Mookie Betts. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it, and let's talk Dodgers baseball. So I went on my rant in yesterday's show about Sunday Night Baseball and how I felt like the Monday night game just simply was not fair to the Dodgers. You show up Tuesday after a loss, you're motivated, you're ready to go, you got a good night's sleep, and if you did need any extra adrenaline, or motivation for that game, Mookie Betts shot it into the dugout. He shot just a shot of adrenaline through that dugout when he led the game off with a home run, and that's something that we've become accustomed to seeing Mookie Betts do. As a matter of fact, he is top 10 all-time in the major leagues as far as leading games off with home runs, and that does so much for your team. One, like I said, it gets you woke up, it gets you ready to go, it gets all the positive vibes, all the positive energy running through the veins of the dugout. And two, unlike Monday night's game, it gets the lid off, it gets that first run, it gets everybody settled in. And a lot of times, like I say, if you don't get that first run early, sometimes it gets harder and harder as the game goes on to get that first run. So it gets the lid off and it gets everybody ready to go. Something that the Dodgers ended up doing last night was playing good offense. They scored in 4 different innings. And even in some of the innings that they didn't score, they either had the bases loaded or they had a couple of, they hit a ball to the wall that the Milwaukee Brewers had a tough time catching, or at least had to make a great play on. So the offense was very good, scored in almost half your innings last night, 4 in total. You scored right off the bat, and then in the innings that you didn't score, you kept the pressure on the defense. So it just really felt like the Dodgers were in control of that game basically from the start, from the time that Mookie Betts hit the home run and Freddie Freeman walked and then he stole a base. Will Smith, who has been just fantastic, had a sac fly. So your first 2 innings were really, really, really good. And then, you score in 4 different innings. And then your other innings, like I said, you continue to put pressure on the defense. So that was an offense last night for the Dodgers that kept the momentum on your side. And then Noah Syndergaard, he goes out with the blister that looked really bad. We'll get into that talk here in just a minute. And so then you end up basically with a bullpen game. And how about the bullpen last night? They came in and only Shelby Miller gave up the 2 runs. But other than that, everybody else was just absolutely nails. They came in and did not give up any runs. Phil Bickford went an inning in the 3rd. Yency Almonte, he went an inning. Victor Gonzalez went an inning as well. Hey, Justin Brule, how about them? How about him? He got his first win. So he went 1 2/3 innings. Brusdar Graterol went an inning, and then Evan Phillips came in and cleaned up the last out. So, hey, it would be turned into a bullpen game. It was not supposed to be one. Sometimes the Dodgers do have scheduled bullpen games. This was not scheduled to be so, and it turned into that, and the bullpen absolutely stepped up and did its job. So, we talk about great team baseball and everything working together. Mookie gave you the momentum, and you maybe could have lost it whenever you lose your starter that early in the game, and Noah Syndergaard to the blister, but then Phil Bickford comes in, slams the door. Justin Brule does a great job, and they just continue the momentum that the Dodgers offense created, throughout the entire game last night. So, whenever you score 2 in the first inning like that, and Mookie Betts hits a home run, and you're up 3-0 after the second inning, 4-0 after the third inning, you have momentum at that point, and it's up to basically your offense to continue feeding off of that, and then also your pitching hold its side of the bargain too and not give up runs, because you keep adding to that. By the time you get into the middle innings, you squarely have the momentum and you're putting the pressure on the other team. And a lot of times when that happens, that makes it even more difficult for them to score, because whenever you have a lead, say in the 5th, 6th inning, then maybe some of their game plan issues or some parts of their game plan they can't get to, because, hey, when you're down 4 runs and you only have, say, a certain amount of outs left, you don't want to do certain things that take chances to give outs away. So then all of a sudden you're not stealing bases. You're not doing things that you might do in other scenarios in a close game. And so then you end up not scoring as much overall, because you're not as aggressive as you would have been because you're behind in the game. That's why getting a lead is so important. Get on top, get the lead, and then front run the entire game, because it takes away a lot of the other team's offense. It takes away their approach, and it just kind of puts them in scramble mode, and it feels like they're trying to catch up the entire game. Okay, so the Noah Syndergaard Blister. What do the Dodgers do? We're going to get into Gavinstone last night. Gavinstone, I watched his entire performance. He did pitch last night for AAA Oklahoma City, which times up perfectly. If he needs to come back up for Noah Syndergaard, that would be perfect that they both pitched last night. And if you need to replace Noah Syndergaard's next start or next couple, you have it as far as the calendar goes, exactly perfect to fit Gavinstone right back into that slot if that's where you choose to go. Gavinstone, we'll get into it here in a minute in the AAA Oklahoma City segment of this, but he used his 4-seam a little bit more last night, and his changeup when it was in the zone was almost absolutely unhittable. He had a gigantic whiff rate with it last night. He did, his command, he did walk a few too many people, but Gavinstone only gave up 1 run last night and looked a lot better for AAA Oklahoma City. So it'll be interesting to see where the Dodgers go to fill that spot with Noah Syndergaard. You would think, I don't know how all of the business transaction aspects of it will work to get Gavinstone back onto the 26-man. I guess just take one off and put one on, because he's already on the 40-man, so that's fairly simple. You would think the easiest decision to make with Gavinstone matching up on the calendar, because he pitched last night the same as Noah Syndergaard, you would think the easiest thing to do at this point would just bring Gavinstone back up and let him have the starts for Noah Syndergaard in the future from there. So we'll see how that works. Again, Gavinstone did pitch last night. And then the defense. Miguel Vargas made the only error. The defense for the Dodgers has been pretty good. They're pretty good as far as total errors compared to other teams in the league. And then they're about 12th or 13th somewhere in there as far as errors per game. So it hasn't been a defense that has, when you look at all the changes, and you've had different shortstops. Miguelrojas has been hurt. Chris Taylor's played some shortstop. Mookiebetts has played shortstop. I mean, how many teams in Major League Baseball that are looking to win a World Series can say that they've already played 3 shortstops? Then you're working in a rookie second baseman. Max Muncy's playing third base. You never know who's going to be in left field. And then Mookiebetts is playing. When Mookie Betts is playing shortstop, then you don't know who's going to be in right field. So for all of the interchangeable parts, I would have to say that the defense has done well and looked good. So, hey, last night was a good bounce-back performance for the Dodgers. I was glad to see the energy get shot into the dugout early. I was glad to see the consistent offense. And then the balance, you had sac flies, you had singles, you had slug with Mookie Betts, you had some stolen bases. You had a little bit of everything in the offense, and then you also had scoring in almost half your innings, and then the other innings you didn't score. You were still putting pressure on the defense. So last night was just a really, really, really good game. It was a game that I felt like the Dodgers controlled from the very beginning, both with their offense and the way they kept the momentum there, and then also with their pitching being a bullpen game. I thought it was just a really well-played game by the Dodgers all in all. So, hey, good job last night. You got back in the win column. You did not let the San Diego Padres in that series over the weekend beat you twice. We talked about the Monday night deal and not getting into your hotel room until 3 o'clock, not taking BP, how that was difficult. You got past that. You moved on to the next day, and you did exactly what you're supposed to, and you put a win in the win column, which, like we say, hey, probably not going to win 111 games Every game matters this year. It might come down to one game, so good bounce back for the Dodgers last night. It was a fun game to watch. So, hey, that's our Dodgers talk for today. We're going to move now to our minor league section. So, hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it, and let's take a trip down on the farm. The AAA Oklahoma City Dodgers, well, it took them until the 7th inning to score, but they did it right here. David Freit, how about him? The young man who, he's 34 years old, actually. He hit a grand slam in his first game back. He's been on the developmental list. You know, he's been basically a bullpen catcher and a third baseman for AAA Oklahoma City on the developmental list until last night. He got taken off the developmental list. This was the only scoring that AAA Oklahoma City did last night. It was brought by a grand slam by David Freit, and that was all they needed, as Gavinstone was very good. 5 1/3 inning. He gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and he had 4 strikeouts. Tyler Sear came in, Brian Hudson that we'll get to, and Nick Robertson as well. So AAA Oklahoma City, they won 4-1 over the Round Rock Express, the AAA affiliates of the Texas Rangers. This is Gavinstone right here from his performance last night. He went 5 1/3 innings. He gave up just 1 run and 1 hit. The only thing you might be able to nitpick maybe was the command. He walked a few too many guys last night, but that did not affect his runs scored. He only gave up 1 run in 5 1/3 innings. Gavinstone leaned more on his four-seam fastball last night. He threw his slider a little bit less, and I think the results were when he did throw his changeup, which he threw his changeup quite a bit, you know, just about a normal percentage as he normally does. He had a whiff rate of 69% on his changeup. So his changeup, when it was in the zone last night, you've seen a couple already here on this video, was absolutely fantastic. And it was very, look at that changeup right there. Lots of swing and miss that with that dirty changeup he was throwing last night, 69% of the time. There's another one. Well, there's one put into play on a fastball. So his stuff was very good when it was in the zone. He set 93.6. Okay, so he averaged throwing 93.6 with his four-seam fastball that you're seeing right there, and he hit as high as 95.9. So all in all, pretty standard outing for Gavinstone in terms of, hey, the types of pitches he threw, other than he was throwing his four-seam a little bit more, his slider a little bit less. Pretty standard in the sense that he went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run. That's just kind of the Gavinstone that we've become accustomed to. Well, just like the LA Dodgers bullpen last night, you know, it was a bullpen game for LA. I tell you what, the bullpen for AAA Oklahoma City, they were even better. They gave up absolutely nothing, zeros. You're looking at Brian Hudson right here, 6'8" lefty, and I have sat behind him directly behind home plate at the Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City, downtown Oklahoma City, and I can tell you the way he crossfires, the way he comes at you, and just it's uncomfortable for the hitters. It's just, I wouldn't want to dig in. I mean, like I said, it's hard to pick up. It's herky-jerky. It's cross-fired at you. It's hard to pick up the baseball. So, hey, Brian Hudson, I've said it a couple times, the Dodgers might have found something and unlocked something with him that they can use sometime in the future. He's been good this year so far. He's posted an ERA of 2.20, a whip of 1.16, and an average against of just 1.83. Also, he has 30 strikeouts and just 8 walks. So, like I said, I've seen him in person. He's had a good year statistically. I can tell you from a first-hand account, this guy is a very uncomfortable at bat. Tyler Sear was hitting 96, and he had a lot of sink to his ball last night. He was getting underneath the barrels of the Round Rock Express hitters. His ball was sinking quite a bit, and he was at 96. That pitch right there, that's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and he went scoreless as well. Look at the kind of just the sink and the drop just getting away from the barrels. Look right there, that sink right there. That he had a lot of that going on last night, and it was very effective. Sear is a 30-year-old that the Dodgers, you know, he's a perfect scenario. He is a major league guy. He has 13.1 major league innings. He has success at the major league level for the short stint he was there, but yet then he's on a minor league contract. Those are the exact kind of guys the Dodgers love. And I'll tell you what, last night, Tyler Sear, right there, look at that changeup. He was about as good as he's been since he's become to the Dodgers. The AA Tulsa Drillers, boy, they put the beat down on the AA affiliates of the St. Louis Cardinals last night. Springfield 14-1. They scored 4 in the second, 1 in the fifth, 5 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, 3 in the eighth, and they won 14-1. Just needed 8 innings to score 14 runs. So you're looking at right here, Nicknastrini, look at that breaking ball. Nicknastrini's breaking ball last night was absolutely on point. It was very, very good. You're seeing another slider right there. He gave up just 1 home run, but that was it. In 5 innings of work, he struck out 4, he walked none, and gave up just 4 hits. So, like I said, the breaking ball was big time last night, and Nicknastrini, a big time pitcher, his ERA is down to 2.25 on the year. His whip, there's Joseramos, a nice catch right there. Nicknastrini's whip is 0.92, and his average against just 1.59. The young man who, at times at UCLA, fought with his confidence. The Dodgers absolutely believed in him. He got into the Dodgers system. He got around all the support and all the people in the Dodgers system. Just the positive structure and the positive environment, the positive culture has been something that Nicknastrini has needed. It's been something that he has absolutely taken to. He loves it, and he has continued to excel with it, and he threw again well last night. So Nastrini, kind of a hometown boy, grew up in the LA area, went to UCLA. Looking forward to continuing to climb the ranks. Hopefully he'll get a AAA promotion here in a bit and make it back to his hometown in the LA area. Eddysleonard has been absolutely on fire for AA Tulsa as of late. I've talked in the last couple of podcasts, hey, he got off to a slow start. Not anymore. Eddysleonard, I'll tell you what, he had another multi-hit last night, and he has just been, like I said, just on a tear for AA Tulsa. Last night was his second multi-hit game in a row. He's hitting 500 this month. I told you he's been hot. We'll try on a 500 this month on for size. It's OPS. Okay, even more impressive, 1545. So like I said, Eddysleonard, he got hot, and he has stayed hot this month. Good to see Kodyhoese having some success, and I've said it a couple of times. He had the oblique strain in 2021. He got hot just about this time last year, got hot in May and then June, and then he had the injury again in early July. Never really recovered from that. So Kodyhoese, I will be very interested to see how he does whenever he has a sustained period of time. Of course, he's already been injured this year as well, just came off the injured list, I believe, last week, so he's already had some time on the IL as well. If Kodyhoese just, if he can just get a stretch maybe of an entire year in a row where he can have complete health, we can finally see what he is capable of offensively. We know he is elite defensively at third base. We already know that's there. So, hey, the hit tool of Kodyhoese, that is what is in question, and he really hasn't had just a legitimate chance to show it off because of all the injuries dating back a couple of years. Last night he had an RBI double that you're seeing right here, and he had 2 sac flies. So, hey, Kodyhoese doing a lot better offensively, has hits in 4 games in a row, 6 of his last 7, and in 7 of the last 9 games that he has played in. So this, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but this is the most comfortable and the most relaxed he has looked since he's been in the Dodgers organization. So I think Kodyhoese is ready to have a good year this year offensively for the AA Tulsa Drillers. So we'll see. Hopefully he can stay healthy. It's been a hot and cold type of year this year for Andypages, who went 3 for 4 last night. He was hot last night. Okay, he had 3 RBIs for AA Tulsa, and he has hits in 4 games in a row, and he's 7 for his last 12 with 2 doubles, a home run, 6 RBIs, 4 runs scored, and 12 total bases. When this young man, Andypages, gets hot, he can carry an entire offense, and last night he definitely was that. So, hey, some people are asking, hey, how long will Andypages be in AA? We'll see. The Dodgers have a whole lot of outfielders, but they don't have a whole bunch of right-handed hitting outfielders. So, jonnydeluca and Andypages are very intriguing prospects. First of all, they're both on the 40-man right now. And then also when you talk about, all of the left-handed hitters, Ryan Ward, Drew Avens, Steven Duggar, Bradley Zimmer, Jason Hayward, Jamesoutman, David Peralta, all these guys, left-handed swinging outfielders. It takes you a while to dip down into the right-handed hitting outfielders. Andypages and jonnydeluca is probably the top of the crop when you talk about that. So I know a lot of Dodgers fans are monitoring their progress very carefully. Andypages had a good night last night. He went 3 for 4. I've talked a lot about some of joseramos' home runs and how impressive they've been. To the opposite field, watch that. Just like he's almost returning a serve, a first serve in tennis and just trying to get it in fair. And he just flicks it into right field and it goes over the fence for a home run. That just goes to show you just how much power Joseramos has. That was home run number 8, and he has home runs now in 2 games in a row. This young man is absolutely turning a corner Joseramos. This was one of the most impressive offensive sequences of the year. Brandon Lewis, look how he fouls off two pitchers' pitches on the outer half and then turns around an inner half up and in fastball and turns on it for a home run. For a guy to be able to look away and cover the outside part of the plate on two sliders and then cover a fastball high and in, that is so incredibly tough to do against professional pitching. One of the reasons why the Dodgers, even though the numbers and the statistics didn't look good last year for Brandon Lewis, they haven't looked good so far this year. Still very high on the hit tool of this young man, because when you can spoil those two pitches right there, then still cover the inner part of the plate, especially up in the zone, and have power with it, that is very impressive. So an impressive sequence last night for slugging right-hander, the sweet swinging Brandon Lewis. JonnyDeluca hit home run number 9 on the year. He drove in his 15th run, I should say, and he also stole a base as well. The 2020 watch is in full effect for JonnyDeluca. He has his average up to 295. His OPS is approaching 1,000, and he also has 2 hits. He had 2 hits last night, which marked his 9th multi-hit game of the year. Add in 7 stolen bases. He had another one last night. I think it's pretty easy to see that he's going to be at least a 2020 guy. Hey, maybe if he can get hot and get on base quite a bit, steal a few bases, maybe have several different sequences where he steals first and second base. Then he goes on a little home run tear, maybe outside shot at 30-30. But hey, let's do first things first. 2020, let's put our sights on that. He's well on his way to doing that with already the home run number 9. He has 7 stolen bases, so we'll continue the 2020 watch of JonnyDeluca. Well, the Dodgers had a big lead. You're looking at Braden Fisher here, but John Rooney came in and threw up another 0 as well, which is his 3rd scoreless outing in a row, 6 out of his last 7. I've talked about how good John Rooney has been. This is Braden Fisher, who put up another 0 last night and has only given up a single run in 1 outing this year. Fisher's ERA is 0.68, his whip is just 0.60, and his average against is 136. He also has 19 strikeouts, just 2 walks on the year. So, wow, Braden Fisher, the young man out of League City, Texas, he got promoted about a month ago to AA Tulsa. He started the year in High A Great Lakes. He has done nothing but turn heads in the Dodgers organization. He has that curveball right there, and then he has the slider as well. And then his four-seam fastball, look at that depth on that breaking pitch. His four-seam fastball is hitting, somewhere in the 96 range right now. So, boy, look at the depth on that breaking ball. That is, coming from a big, tall drink of water like Braden Fisher is, and then getting the depth like that, that just makes it so difficult to hit, especially if you're a horizontal hitter and you come through with your barrel horizontal to home plate. That's a very difficult pitch to hit, even if you have a vertical bat, So, hey, Braden Fisher doing a great job. There's a four-seam fastball that's around 96, somewhere in there. So, Braden Fisher, the big stuff. The Great Lakes Loons scored 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 8th, and that was all they needed to beat the Lake County Captains 4-1. It was a good game last night, and again, helped with the organizational sweep that I've mentioned a couple of times. You're looking at justinwrobleski. I have told Dodgers fans on several different occasions, hey, buy stock in this young man. He's coming off the Tommy John, so he's just kind of putting things together, and it's been just a little thing here, a little thing there, in the outings that he's given up runs in that, are very much so Tommy John related. But this guy has all the metrics. He has the fastball that's already hitting 96. That's going to continue to climb north from the left side. I saw a lot of his outings at Oklahoma State. I've sat behind and watched. I can tell you, this guy is absolutely legit. He has all the different pitches, the slider, the curveball, the changeup. He can flip a curveball in any count, kind of as get me over. He has the nasty type slider that he can make a little bit bigger like that with 2 strikes, or he can make it a little bit smaller if he needs to throw a strike with it. And then also the changeup as well, and the big, big fastball. And one of the best parts about Robo is that he is super gritty and super competitive. So I am just very high on this young man. Buy stock on him right now, Justin Wrobleski. He went 4.2 last night scoreless. He struck out 5 and gave up just 2 hits. Dalton Rushing blasted home run number 5 that you're seeing on the screen right here against the Lake County Captains last night, and he also had 2 hits. Rushing has hits in 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5 and 7 of his last 9, and last night was Rushing's 6th multi-hit game of the year. So the young man, he has weathered the cold part of the season. He's come through it very well. So it'll be very exciting to see what kind of damage offensively that Dalton Rushing can do. You know, we talk all the time about his elite hit tool. It'll be able to see now that the weather's going to warm up just how good he gets. Christiansuarez was good last night for the High A Great Lakes Loons. He had a good outing. He went 1 1/3 scoreless. He struck out 2, and Suarez has gone scoreless in 4 of his last 5 outings. Very good stuff. Has that sweeping slider to him, and when he's in the zone, I talk about it all the time, he is one of the toughest left-handers in minor league baseball to hit. Kind of has that crossfire to him. Very deceptive. He hides the ball very well, and it just gets right up on top of you. When it has the sweep that you saw on that pitch, it is very difficult to hit, especially for lefties. Speaking of lefties, how about the young man that is coming off of all of the injuries that Mitchell-Tyranski has had, the young man out of Michigan State? He has been nothing but great this year he hadn't thrown a whole lot, but, you know, coming off the injury, still just trying to build some pitch count. But Mitchell-Tyranski, he has been absolutely fantastic. He's putting all the pieces together. His ERA is just 1.86 on the year. His whip is just 0.93. He has an average against of 0.65, 14 strikeouts. Like I said, not a whole lot of innings, just 9.2. But hey, 14 Ks, that's nothing to sneeze at. Look at that breaking ball from Tyranski. That is an absolutely legit pitch. Look at the depth on that with 2 strikes. Mitchell-Tyranski, great job last night. The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes finished the night off in style. How about 2 in the bottom of the ninth? They went into the bottom of the ninth trailing 3-2. Hey, the organizational sweep was on the line. They scored 2 in the bottom of the ninth. After they had scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th, those were the only 4 runs they scored the entire night, and they pulled out the victory last night, 4-3 over the Stockton Ports. Wow, what a game it was last night. You were looking at Jermaine Rosario, who went 4 innings. He gave up just 1 earned run, and he struck out 4. Always talk about Jermaine. Hey, when his ball is in the strike zone, it is very, very, very good, but it's not always in the strike zone, kind of like most of these young guys at Rancho. Hey, it's all about throwing strikes for them. Calvin Batista came in and threw an inning scoreless. He had 2 strikeouts as well. And then Livan Reynoso and Jonathan Edwards finished up the night for Rancho Cucamonga in style. Livan Reynoso came in and threw 1 2/3 innings, and then Jonathan Edwards got the last out of the game. So, hey, exciting game last night for Rancho Cucamonga at home. And they, like I said, finished the night off in style by finishing the organizational sweep. So there you have it. There's our show for you today. Another organizational sweep. Again, the 4th one in the last couple of weeks and a half at least. So, hey, what a glorious day. And so, hey, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you tune in to tomorrow's show as well. Before we get out of here, one last reminder, if you'd like to help Dodgers Daily by donating, we do now have a GoFundMe account, and we have the link to that GoFundMe account in the description. All you got to do is click on it. It'll take you right to where you need to go to help Dodgers Daily by donating. Also, if you like this video and if you like this kind of content, go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment, tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily, and become a subscriber. And after you subscribe, turn on your notifications. Click that notification bell. That way, every time Dodgers Daily releases a new video, you'll be notified. You won't miss a thing. Dodgers Daily will keep growing, and we can keep doing what we love, which is providing content and videos like this in the future. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in and say, go Dodgers.